Good morning, class. Here we are in week 15, taking about eco literacy. Now, to formally start our meeting today, may I call on Mr. Dawal Rodel to lead the prayer.
Sir. Good morning, classmates. So, let us bow our head and feel the presence of the Lord. Ama na aming Diyos, bunal ka po ng kapangyarihan sa lahat. Salamat po, Ama, sa biyayang araw na pinagkalaw po sa amin, sapagkat muli mo na po kami pinasapit sa ganitong pagkakataon upang magkaroon ng panibagong pagkatuto at magagamit namin sa lingkod sa iyong banal na pangalan. Sa kabilangan po na nangyayari sa mundo, Ama, kayo na po ang bahalang pagdating sa amin, ilayo sa mga ganitong sitwasyon. Nasa kaya patuloy pa rin kayong mapagbigay kaluguran sa iyong banal na pangalan. Ama, patawarin na lang po kami sa iyong pagpupulong pagkakasala. Sa tayo po pangalan ni Jesus, banal, banal, dakila po namin tagapagligtas sa amin.
Right. Thank you for that wonderful prayer, Mr. Dawal Rodel. May I remind Miss Roselyn Bilones to collect the said assignment that was assigned to you last meeting. And Miss Roselyn, may I ask you to download the attendance after this meeting? Miss Roselyn, you may please respond. Okay. So to formally start our discussion today, let's first do this activity named crossword. You will find the word. You'll find the word that are related to what I've said. What we're going to talk about, the ecological literacy. You may start finding the words in this crossword now. You may raise your hand if you find the word.
Sir, can I answer?
Yes, Miss Exia, you're allowed.
Environment, sir, sa taas po.
Okay, great. Nakita ko rin. Next, Mr. Dawal. Sorry, Mr. Dawal, your microphone is muted.
Ecology po, sir. Ecology po.
Saan banda?
Sa pangalawang line po sa baba.
Okay. Sige na.
Sir, Bilones po.
Okay, Miss Bilones, you're mentioned.
Literacy po, sir, sa pangalawa, sa una.
Excellent. Nice. Nakita niyo yun. Next. Last two. Mr. Maron?
Nature po. Sa may una ng pangalawa.
Ayun, yung nakikita yung pointer. Okay, last one. How about Mr. Benjie? Mr. Benjie?
Sir.
Hello, sir.
Si Mr. Benjie.
Ecology.
Ay, nasabi na yun, Mr. Benjie. Babalikan na lang kita mamaya. Miss Jean.
Sir, Earth.
Yun, tama. Very good. So, pag combine niyo yung word na yun, magbubuo kayo ng idea na magbibigay meaning sa eco-literacy. Next slide, please. Now, when we talk about ecological literacy, it is the ability to understand the natural systems that make life on Earth possible. To be ecoliterate means understanding the principles of organizations of ecological communities, example, ecosystems, and using those principles for creating sustainable human communities. Meaning to be ecoliterate, again, means understanding the principles of organization of the ecosystems, meaning we understand how the ecosystems work. We understand how to preserve the nature and value its importance. Next slide, please. Sustainable development. Sustainable development is the development that meets the needs of the present without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. Meaning, this meaning sustainable development means you're practicing to live sustainability, meaning you are creating good behavior to your environment, and then A sustainable develop character means that he or she preserves the nature and understand and value its environment. Now let's move on to the next slide. There are 7 environmental principles that we should understand. First is nature knows best. Nature knows best. This principle is the most basic and in fact encompasses all the others. Humans have to understand nature and have to abide by the rules nature dictates. In essence, one must go not to against the natural processes if one would like to ensure a continuous and steady supply of resources. Meaning, kapag nawala yung isa sa process ng nature, pwede mag-collapse or pwede magkaroon ng problema sa pag-ikot ng process. Number 2, all forms of life is important. Each organism plays a fundamental role in nature, since such occupational or functional position, otherwise known as niche, cannot be simultaneously occupied by more than one species. It is apparent that all living things must be considered as invaluable in the maintenance of homeostasis and the ecosystems. So, yung sinasabi dito, more on about siya sa science and progress. So meaning, yung by the word itself niya, all forms of life is important. Kahit yung sinasabi natin peste na, halimbawa yung spider, may ano yun, may importance siya na tatanggal siya ng mga pests ng mga ipis, gano'n, yung mga peste sa bahay. Akala natin na peste rin yung spider, pero yung species pala na yun pwede din siya maging pest exterminator. So, meron ba kayong any idea na species na di natin alam na importante pala sa buhay natin? Mr. Maron? You raise your hand.
Sa species po, wala po akong gaanong alam. Pero tingin ko po, ang sabi doon sa all forms of life is important. Ito po yung tumutukoy po siya about doon sa food chain. Kumbaga po, yung isang maliit na insects, may use po siya doon sa another insects. Tapos yung another insects na may naman siya doon sa another insects. Kumbaga, yung pagkain nila, umiikot lang po doon sa may, anong po tawag doon? Basta yun po, para po siyang food chain.
Yung food chain na sinabi mo, tama yun, tama. Very good, very good. Mr. Roel Marquicias?
Okay. Lang.
Ang share ko po dito is meron akong nakita sa balita na daw pinuputol yung mga buntot ng daga, kinokolekta nila. Tapos idinadala sa probinsya para maging pataba ng mga halaman doon na pwede nilang pampataba na pwedeng mag-grow doon sa mismong halaman, kagaya ng mga palay, mga tsaka para makaiwas peste. Tapos yung another issue sa butike, sabi is tagabantay daw yun ng Panginoon, sinasabi din. Which is, sa atin din is nakakatulong din yung mga butike, mga lizard na sila yung umaano ng mga peste, ng mga lamok, para makaiwas sa mga dengue. Ayun po.
So,
Sir, can I add?
Yes, you may. Thank you for that wonderful answer, Mr. Roel.
For me, sir, kasi kahit nasabihin po natin na salot yung isang insect or hayop, hindi po natin siya pwede patayin kasi nagano din po siya sa balanse, para mabalance yung ng katulad ng sinasabi ni Maron na food chain. Na bawat hayop may kanya-kanyang duty na ginagawa, kaya ayun. Kaya hindi natin sila masasabing peste kasi helpful din sila. Like yun sa linta ba yun? Oo, tama yung linta. Di ba siya?
Yes,
sinasabi nilang peste siya, pero sa ibang bansa ginagamit siyang panggamot. So, ayun po.
Yes, thank you. So, everything you have said is very important, no? Makikita nyo na masasabi talaga dito na all forms of life is important. Kahit naisipin nyo na peste ito o wala itong silbi, meron talaga siyang purpose sa buhay. So the next one is everything is connected to everything else. What do you think about this, guys? Ano naiisip nyo dito sa statement na to? Anyone? Mr. Roel Marquicias, you're being mentioned again.
Yung 'di ba sinabi natin na hindi natin pwede patayin lahat ng pwesto, dun pa lang makikita na natin na everything is connected to everything else. Marami siyang pinanggagalingan kung bakit hindi siya pwede patayin, kung bakit kailangan siya alagaan, at kung bakit kailangan siya panatilihin. Kasi kagaya nun, another is yung sa mga puno. Yung sa ano yata, yung natamaan ng bagyo yata sa Camarines Sur. Halos lahat yata ng yung ibang puno dun kasi pinuputol, ang dami pinagagamitan. Pero dahil nung dumating yung pinakamalakas na bagyo, which is yung Ulysses, halos ang dami nang nadamay, lalo nung nagpakawala ng dam, halos parang tsunami na rin dating kasi yung ragasa talaga is talagang halos lampas tao na rin. Kaya medyo nakakaawa. Kaya ang dami nagsasabi sana hindi na lang pinutol yung mga puno kasi yun yung sumasalo para maiwasan yung sobrang pagbaha. Kaya
Yes.
kaya konektado talaga po yun. Ang laki ng
Yes. Very good, Mr. Roel Marquicias. You reflected into real life situations, ano? So nakikita talaga natin doon yung epekto ng pagkawala ng mga puno, pagka-deforestation ng mga bundok. Makikita talaga natin doon na everything is connected to everything else, meaning may cause and may effect, di ba? So yung definition naman nan ay the principle is exemplified by the concept of the ecosystem. In an ecosystem, all biotic and amniotic components interact with each other to ensure that the system is perpetuated. Any outside interference may result in imbalance and the deterioration of the system. Next one is everything changes. Dito naman, ano yung sa tingin niyo yung nagbibigay meaning dito sa everything changes?
Answer, can I answer po?
Yes,
Ako
Ms.
is my-
Exia, you may answer.
Siguro sir, everything changes. Siguro sir, it talks about the evolution of some species like sir, nakalimutan ko.
Yes. You may take it.
For mga organisms, mga bagay-bagay. Basta yung pagbabago po ng mga ng nasa paligid natin. Yan lang po.
Yes. You're talking about the changes that happen through evolution through time, diba? Mr. Maron, you're raising your hand lately. Mr. Maron.
So everything changes po, sir.
Mm.
Ang sabi po, ang pagkakaintindi ko po dito sa everything changes po, ito po yung pagbabago ng lahat base dun sa, pag sa animals po, di ba po nagkakaroon ng mga bagong species na hindi nalalaman. Ang ibig sabihin po nun, nagbabago yung species base dun sa kung nasaan na lugar sila, base dun sa klima, something like that. Then, kung about po sa environment, kumbaga yung sinabi po ni Roel na about dun sa baha, kung hindi pinutol yung puno, hindi po tayo babahain ng ganun kagrabe katulad doon sa may Cagayan. Kasi po yung puno kasi yung 'di ba yung parang sumasalo ng tubig tapos nagbablock ng tubig galing doon sa mga dagat. Yun po.
Yes, thank you for that wonderful answer, Mr. Maron Paje. So when we define everything changes is the definition. Everything changes. It is said that the only permanent thing is change. As a general classification, change may be linear, cyclical, or random. As example of linear change is evolution of species, kagaya na sinabi nila Roel and Mr. Maron Paje, which has brought about higher and more complex types of organism. Cyclical change may be exemplified by seasons and the rhythms in the flora and fauna life. Kagaya na sinabi ni Mr. Maron ulit na tungkol sa environment, nagbabago yung kanilang parts of body, evolution, ganyan. Stages that go with the seasons. And an example of random change is the eruption of Mount Pinatubo, which brought about great upheaval in many parts of Luzon and changes in the topography of the land. So meron din tinatawag na random change, yung kapag may nangyari na kakaiba sa isang bagay. Halimbawa, yung bundok, yung sinabi ko, yung Mount Pinatubo, nung nag-erupt siya, may nagbago dun sa parts ng Luzon, yung may nangyari dun sa topography ng land. So the next is everything must go somewhere. Everything must go somewhere. When a piece of paper is thrown away, it disappears from sight, but it does not cease to exist. It ends up elsewhere. It gases released in smokestacks may disperse, but it will end up a component of the atmosphere or brought down the rains. So make this thing short. Everything must go somewhere. What are your thoughts about this, Mr. Benji Montilla? You are talking lately. What are your thoughts about everything must go somewhere? Mr. Benji? Let's see.
Pasensya na sir, medyo naglalag.
Okay lang, okay lang. So, mukhang mabagal yung internet ni Mr. Benji. So, explain ko na lang. So, yung sinabi ko hello?
Yung kagaya ng anong sinabi ni Exia kanina, yung tungkol sa cycle, like kay Maron natin sa cycle ng life. Yun nga po sir, yung lahat ng mga, kunyari yung mga namamatay, napupunta sa lupa. Mga ganun po sir.
Okay, nakita yung idea mo na.
Naging fertilizer, you mean?
Yes. Tama yun. Tama yung sinabi na yun. So, yung isang bagay, napupunta talaga siya sa iba, no? Hindi lang siya basta-basta nawawala. So, the next is, ours is a finite earth. Ours is a finite earth, and its resources has been very important long can arrive many of it. Its natural resources help us to create civilization and adapt to our surroundings. That is why it is important for us to nourish and take care of these resources and avoid using technologies that may have bad effect on the environment or man-made structures that causes pollutions. So this part is very big. Balik mo doon. Balik doon. So itong sinasabi nilang R is a finite. Earth is a very serious and a complicated problem right nowadays. Mr. Rodel, Dawal, you're raising your hand.
Sir, I want to add about ours is affinity earth. Since that we are in the era that we are surpassing a lot of things about environment, ecological impact, we must need to take care our environment because since pandemic was being implemented or just existing in our country or in the world, we must know what the condition of our environment. Gaya nga po sa mga examples ng mga classmates po namin, environmental impact is very has a big variety in terms of changing in our society. So from the thought of ours is a finite impact, finite earth, lahat ng mga resources natin is hindi naman paulit-ulit lang or lahat ng mga yan is nauubos. Dapat din natin talaga siyang pangalagaan para may magamit tayo kasi siguro when the generation surpass in different angle, nakita natin na yung mga resources natin, paubos na. Paano na yung mga susunod generation? So, from that, it is very important to take note that it goes there.
Yes, thank you for that wonderful and thoughtful explanation of your idea, Mr. Dawal. So, meaning we should practice talaga na mag-practice ng sustainable living. Yung kanina din-discuss natin. So, any ideas? Sino tong nagre-raise ng hand? Yung isa. Sino to? Wait lang ha. May nag-raise pa ng hand. So, tingin ko si Miss Perol to. Tama. Si Miss Perol. Miss Perol, what are your thoughts about? Ours is a finite earth.
Sir, yung sa ours are finite earth, meaning your resources are not infinite and we don't take care of ecosystem, we'll soon suffer from thirst and hunger. And also learn that the reason why there are so many pests and rodents in the cities because people destroyed there. Yung meaning kasi dito is yung kanina sabi ni Dawal, hindi pang matagalan yung resources natin. Kung hindi natin siya pangangalagaan, tayo din yung mauubusan, tayo din yung malulugi sa huli. Kasi hindi naman kasi siya panghabang buhay. Nasa sa atin siya kung paano natin siya gagamitin. At kung gagamitin natin siya na mas maayos, mas matagal pa natin siyang mapapakinabangan. At saka hindi tayo mauubusan.
Yes, thank you for that wonderful answer, Miss Perol. Kagaya nga sinabi ulit, we have to practice sustainable living para ma-preserve natin yung earth natin. So the next one is nature is beautiful and we are the steward of God's creation. Nature is Humans have the most responsibilities in the world, being able to think and accomplish many things, create civilization that lasts for thousands of years, but humans also can be greedy and abuse what's given to them, and our nature is suffering because of mankind's greedy and abusive behavior. Humans are capable of manipulating creation to their own advantage. Yet, creation exists not to be ravaged or abused, but to be taken care of. Humans cannot exist without nature. They are co-natural with the environment they live in. If the environment they live in is destroyed, with it will go Homo sapiens. Meaning, kapag nawala yung environment sa atin, talagang mawawala din tayo. Yun lang. We have to appreciate God's creation and preserve its gift. Next slide, please. So now we move on to making green schools. We are now focused to the education situation in the world. So a green school is about more than curriculum, more than programming, and more than bricks and mortar. It's a school that supports global sustainability in every way. There are three pillars that describes a green school. They are reduce environment impact, increase health and well-being, and increase environment and sustainable literacy. So first, let's start about the reduced environment impact. Next, please. Yan na ba? Reduced environment impact includes reducing energy and water use, cutting back on fossil fuel use in transportation, reducing waste heat to landfill, and protecting natural habits. Hindi ko alam kung capable to sa school natin today, pero kayo, may idea ba kayo dito about sa topic na to, sa factor na to? Reduce environment impact. How do you reduce environment impact? Ayun na lang. How do you reduce environment impact? Anyone? So sabi dito, it includes reducing energy and water use, and cutting back on fossil fuel in transportation. Paano kayo makakatulong sa environment para mabawasan yung pollution, yung dagdag na kalat, kinto, ganyan. Sa Dawal?
Sir, sa reduced environmental impact po, pwede po natin i-implement siya sa school po natin since na yung marami po tayong mga bagay na nakikita sa paligid, gaya na lang sa fountain. Yung sa fountain po kasi, di ba sir, dapat nasusustain natin yan kasi may ibang mga student na kailangan talaga ng tubig kasi gaya natin, nung first year po kami, pag-iipon namin, nakakailangan na po agad kami ng water. So from that, we can help our environment to reduce the conservation of water. Sa electricity naman po, pag hindi ako po ginagamit yung mga electric fan or even projectors, pinapatay na po dapat agad para rin po natin masave yung energy.
Reduce it.
Yes, sir. Para po maka-help na rin po tayo sa buong sa buong environment. Sa TUP naman po kasi sir, implemented naman po kasi yung mga ganyang mga advocacy kung saan protect the environment since na we are globally competitive naman po. Dapat po talaga siyang implemented sa school po talaga natin. Kaya yun po sir.
Yes, thank you for that answer, no? Nag-focus ka rin sa may reducing energy, no? Yung paggamit nga ng mga projector is very consuming sa paggamit ng energy. Mr. Roel Marquicias, you're raising your hand.
Ngayon during pandemic kasi halos nararanasan na natin yung pag-less ng mga usok sa mga sasakyan. Kasi ngayon, nung panahon yata ng ECQ, halos bawal lahat yata lumabas. Pati yung sa delivery, halos pinaghihigpit. Kaya yung environment natin talagang na-reduce, which is Ngayon, instead na gumagamit na ng ng mga motor, mga sasakyan, ngayon gumagamit na ng mga bicycle. Yung iba napipilitan na bumili ng bisikleta o di kaya ng electric bike. Doon pa lang sa point na yun, nare-reduce yung mga usok na which is nakakaano sa ecosystem, which is nakikita natin halos ang problema na talaga is yun dun sa atmosphere, halos nagiging manipis na kasi halos lahat yata gumagamit na ng may usok. Pero ngayon halos yung nag-heal na daw ang earth ngayon during dun sa nung nag-ECQ, halos yung atmosphere bumabalik sa dati dahil nga nare-reduce natin nako-conserve natin, which means imbis na gumamit tayo ng mga usok na nakakaapekto sa atmosphere natin, gumagamit tayo ng mga bisikleta or less smoke, kumbaga na tinatawag natin.
So, yun, no, tama yung sinabi mo, Mr. Roel Marquicias. Thank you again, Rodel and Roel, for that answer. So, yung paggamit nga ng bisikleta isang napakagandang gawin para sa environment natin. So, next natin yung increased health and well-being. Protecting student and teacher health includes Protecting student and teacher health includes ensuring a clean and healthy indoor environment in school, as well as providing programs and services for good nutrition and physical activity. So naalala ko dito nung nag-aaral ako nung elementary, meron kaming feeding program na nangyayari sa aming school. Tapos meron din kaming planting program para sa aming school din. Tapos meron doon yung mga black na jar, tapos parang may test doon sa mga lamok. So yun, maging practice yun ng magandang health and well-being sa school. So, any of you, meron ba kayong experiences na pwede ma-share about dito sa increased health and well-being? It's all about protecting student and teacher health. Yun lang. Mr. Maron, you're raising your hand.
Napindot lang po, sir.
Sige. Ayos lang. Anyone? So, I guess, explain ko na lang ulit. All about dito siya, protecting student and teacher health and ensuring a clean and healthy indoor environment, meaning palilinisin yung environment, pag-practicein yung mga bata na maging masipag, maging malinisin, ganyan. Mr. Maron, you're raising your hand this time. Tingin ko may answer ka na.
Ito po ba yung pagpa-practice ng pagtapon ng tamang basura sa tapunan?
Yes.
Tapos, yung pagdi-disinfect, something like that, ng mga dengue, mga baradong kanal, yung mga pinag-iitlogan ng mga mosquito, mga ganun po.
Yes. Tama.
Yan po.
So, ayun nga, yung increased health and well-being. Doon lang siya umiikot. The next one is increase environment and sustainability literacy. Teaching students about sustainability and environment gives them the tools they need to solve global challenges we face now and the future. Education that supports this type of literacy includes both curriculum and instructional practices that are interdisciplinary, place-based, and rooted in the context that uniquely surrounds each student. By the word itself, sustainable literacy, tinuturoan yung mga estudyante na matuto mabuhay ng sustainable living. Meaning, iniisip talaga nila yung environment na importante talaga sa kanilang buhay yun. Tapos tinuturuan din sila dito magtanim. Hindi lang ini-implement o pinapasok sa isip ng mga estudyante sa curriculum. Sa gamit ng curriculum na hindi lang basta pinapasok sa utak ng mga estudyante na maging environmental friendly na estudyante. Ginagawa din nila pinuput din nila into practice yung natututunan nila. Ayun lang. So, next slide, please. So, yung last one na i-discuss natin is all about environmental education. Dito na pumapasok yung curriculum na binibigay sa atin ng higher order. Environmental education, or EE, refers to organized efforts to teach how natural environments function, and particularly how human beings can manage behavior and ecosystems to live sustainably. And the next is environmental education can take the form of science enrichment, curriculum, natural history, field trips, community service projects, and participation in outdoor science schools. So dito pumapasok din yung pagtuturo ng pagtuturo ng environmental education sa elementary, sa high school, nung tayo nakaka-experience pa ng field trips. So, may naisip ba kayo na anong pwedeng gawin para mas lalong matnuro yung environmental education? Ano pa pwedeng activity? Ano pa pwedeng science enrichment, ganyan?
Sir, ano po, planting.
Explain your answer, Miss Exia.
Yung pagtatanim, sir, kasi na yung grade school ako, sir, nagtanim kasi kami, sir, eh. So, parang, sir, very helpful siya sa, sa eskwelahan para magkaroon ng, peace of mind, ganun. Nakakatulong po siya sa mental health ng bawat students kung may, may natatanong silang green sa paligid.
Okay. Sige, salamat. Pagtatanim, no? Pwede rin maging practice yun ng mga estudyante. Mr. Rodel, Dawal. Thank you, Miss Exia. Thank you. Mr. Dawal.
Sa akin po is yung patuloy na pagpapagawa ng mga research sa mga students po. From that, sir, nagkakaroon ng innovation. Kung titignan natin yung kabilang side ng qualitative and quantitative research. From that innovation, sir, we can gain an impact to the environment since dapat yung mga topic natin is related sa pag-grow and pag-foster po ng environmental sustainability. And from that, mas tumataas yung degree ng education kasi nag-i-integrate tayo at mapasok tayo sa area ng gaining an information regarding to create and innovative learners po. Kaya implementing research is one of the most prominent for that environmental education activity po.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Dawal. So, nag-reflect lang ako dito sa sinagot ni Mr. Dawal. May naalala ko nung nakaraan na yung isang group of students sa UP, nakadiscover sila ng isang halaman na nakaka-treat ng gamot kagaya ng cancer, ganun. So maganda rin yung epekto ng environmental education sa natin, no? Sa health natin. Mr. Roel Marquicias, raising your hand.
Actually, na-implement natin ng TUP po several times yung clean drive. Doon po sa mismong campus, pwede tayo mag ng clean drive, which is hindi lang sa bawat rooms, pati din sa mga inaalagaang halaman. Ididiligan yung mga dapat diligan kasi syempre halos namamatay din. Then pati yung paglinis sa mga labas, sa may sa may parang plaza din sa yun po, para mas ma-prevent yung any other diseases gaya ng dengue, kasi syempre delikado din yung dengue lalo na kapag tumama, kasi dahil nga syempre di natin maiiwasan na merong makagat during this or pwede tayong madapuan ng any other disease. Kaya kailangan maging malinis pa rin tayo sa mga gamit, sa environment, para hindi tayo din madapuan dahil sa atin din kasi lalabas yung consequence ito. Tsaka yun din sa mismong environment ng school, halos marami yaman talaga. Kaya kailangan is laging prepared, talagang handa tayo.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Roel Marquicias, for that wonderful answer.
Sir,
Yes?
pwede po mag-add?
Yes, may add.
Hello po.
Narinig ka namin.
Add ko lang din po sa environmental education. Yung activities na pwede pa po natin gawin is yung pag-practice ng recycling ng mga tulad ng tapunan na bagay ng mga bottles, plastic, jars, papers, mga ganun po. Pwede pa po natin silang magamit na yung 3 R's po na reduce, reuse, recycling. Ayun po.
Yes. Tama yung sinabi ni Miss Roselyn, ano? Dapat talaga natin i-practice yung activity na yun sa ating buhay. Kahit na hindi na tayo nag-aaral, kailangan din natin i-practice yun. So these activities and thank you, Miss Roselyn. Thank you. So these activities and lessons help address and mitigate nature deficit order as well as encourage healthier lifestyles. Ito pa lang, encourage healthier lifestyles. Maganda na yon sa attitude ng isang estudyante. So green schools are another main component of environmental education policy. So meaning kasama din yung green schools na sinasabi natin kanina. Next slide, please. So environmental education is not restricted to in-class lesson plans. Children can learn about the environment in many ways. Experiential lessons in the schoolyard, field trips to national parks, after-school green clubs, school-wide sustainability projects help make the environment an easy and accessible topic. Furthermore, celebration of Earth Day or participation in e-week grant through National Environment Education can help further education. Yung mga sinabi nyo kanina ay pwede rin makatulong sa environmental education. So the final aspect of environmental education policies involves training. Wait, nawala. Wait lang ha. Hindi ko kasi mabasa sa involves training individuals to thrive in a sustainable society. So yun lang yung pag-uusapan natin about sa environmental education na pwedeng mag-improve sa ating sarili at ma-practice natin yung sustainable living na sinasabi nila. So at the end of the lesson, so may tanong ako sa inyo ngayon. How do you identify an eco-literate person? Anyone? In conclusion na natin yan. How do you define an eco-literate person? Mr. Dawal, you are raising your hand.
Identifying the eco-literate person, it must be include the aspect of being responsible, disciplined, competent, compassionate, and confident on what they're doing. From that, it will be the grounds, it will be the foundation on how to create a change. Even you are a student or you are a influencer, you have a passion that can come into action. From that environmental impact, change a lot from the student or even a human or even individual. Eco-literate person can do something more and to inspire more, because when you are literate in terms of ecological aspect, you will inspire others to help or to sustain and to provide something. From that, you are good enough. You have power in order to mobilize and also to motivate others. Yun po, sir.
Yes, thank you for that answer, Mr. Dawal.
Sir.
How about Mr. Roel Marquicias?
Sir, pwede nating dito iiral yung pagiging natin common sense. Halimbawa dito is meron tayong nakitang kalat. Yung iba, dinadaanan na lang. Pero sa atin, if kagaya nga sabi ni Dawal, if responsible tayo at meron tayong common sense na ayaw naman nating makalat, syempre pupulutin natin yung, which is practice din to. Share ko lang din sa experience ko. Kapag kasi may demo or merong mga bisita sa school, kailangan pag nakita kang principal, pupulutin mo. Pero para sa akin, iskusa na yun kahit may bisita o wala, kung may demo o wala, kailangan pairalin pa rin natin sa sarili natin yung pagiging common sense natin na hindi dapat maging makalat. Kasi sa atin din feedback yun eh. Kung hindi tayo responsable sa isang bagay, sa pagpulot lang o di kaya paglinis, nagre-reflect din to sa sarili natin na parang ano naman natin na hinahayaan na lang natin magulo yung isang bagay, di ba?
Tama naman. So, yung sinabi mo na yun ay isang practice na pagiging isang eco-literate person. Tama naman din. How about Miss Jeanne Giray? How do you identify an eco-literate person? Miss Jeanne Giray, you being mentioned?
Narinig ba ako?
Yes, naririnig ka namin.
Ayun nga sir, yung po ng sinabi nila, mas kailangan din po natin maging practical para at saka para maging halimbawa rin po tayo ng mga mas nakakabata nating mga kapatid man or mga kaklase, ganun. Mas maging ano po tayo sa paligid natin para hindi po maano po yung mga parang hindi po maubusan tayo ng mga kagamitan na sadyang limitado lamang yung paggamit natin. Diba sa mga sakuna na nangyari sa ngayon tulad nga po ng bagyo dahil po sa pagkaano po ng mga puno, practical po sa mga maging aware po tayo sa paligid natin. Yun lang po sir.
So, ang ganda ng sinabi ni Miss Jeanne Giray, no? Yung maging role model para sa ating mga nakakababatang kapatid. Maganda yun. Magandang practice yun. Hindi lang basta magandang practice bilang isang maging eco-literate person. Isang maging magandang ehemplo sa mga nakakababatang nating kapatid. So, yung next one naman ay, so pagtapos itong lesson natin na to, tanong ko sa inyo, will you be planting trees and become an eco-friendly person after this discussion? Magtatanim ba kayo na puno o patuloy pa rin
Yes,
sa inyo?
sir.
Nice. Gusto ko sana marinig sa lahat eh.
Yes po, sir.
Yes,
Sir.
Okay naman. Good to know. May natutunan kayo ngayon.
Yes po.
Thank you, ano? Thank you for this wonderful discussion. No? So, lastly, magbibigay lang ako ng assignment. Yung assignment nyo, ipasa nyo kay Miss Roselyn Bilones, yung last na assignment about infographics, no? So, yung next na assignment, napasa nyo na ba yung last na assignment natin?
Yes, sir.
yes,
Buti naman.
yes, sir.
One assignment at a time tayo, ha? So, yung next assignment is, makinig kayo. In the one who, sa, ano dito? Sa A4 size paper, gawa na slogan about, promoting environmental awareness. Yun lang. Paso nyo ulit sa akin sa next meeting. So, yung next na topic natin is about art literacy ba yun? Basta tungkol doon, art literacy.
Okay po, sir.
Gets nyo na?
Okay po. Yes
Slogan.
po.
Okay sir.
Slogan about environmental
Slogan po.
awareness. Paso nyo sa akin next meeting.
Thank you po.
Okay, thank you for this
Thank you,
discussion. Dasal muna tayo. Mr. Benjie, closing prayer tayo. Mr.
Thank
Benjie.
you, sir.
Closing prayer tayo, Mr. Benjie.
Pasensya hindi ko bubuksan yung camera kasi
Sige, ayos lang.
naglalag. So, let's bow our heads and feel the presence of the Lord. Lord, marami pong salamat sa tasya namin ito na naging maayos at wala pong aberya. Lord, thank you po sa mga biyayang binibigay niyo at sana po gabayan niyo po kami sa araw-araw. Marami pong salamat, Lord, at sana magkaroon po kami ng matagumpay na buhay. Thank you po. Amen.
Alright. Thank you, class. See you next week and have a great day. Na.
Thank you sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome. Thank you.
God bless.
Patayin mo na.